Poor Flashman back at the Tikkun elevator Kohler reading some of these stories. Now these stories actually, the way they're laid out in this are a little bit stilted, the language, but these stories actually also exist elsewhere. And so this is pretty accurate in terms of what it's trying to depict. Now in this book they refer to the Ari as the master. In the regular language of Kabbalists, he's referred to as the Rav. It happened one day that they were studying. In the middle of the discourse, the master called out, "Be silent." Then he exclaimed, "Blessed be the true judge." The disciples asked why he spoke thus. He said to them, "Know that I heard a warning proclaimed from heaven that the locusts would attack throughout Sfat, devouring every blade of grass, leaving no means of sustenance in Sfat. And all this would come to pass because of one poor man, Rabbi Alteraz, who rages against the Holy One, blessed be he, because of the depth of his misfortune, and weeps in the bitterness of his soul." Now this is the idea that people have misfortunes. Everybody does. If you live long enough, it can happen over and over again. Bar minan. And so this particular man chose the path to complain, become bitter, and start railing against Hashem. And his blessed name cannot withhold his wrath from these wicked neighbors, who, though aware of his misery, yet have no pity on the man. They don't try to help. Therefore, with this evil decree pronounced upon them, in God's name go collect from among you money and bring it to this poor man. Mayhap, perhaps, God will turn his thoughts to us that we shall not perish. They thereupon collected from among them about 5 gulden, and sent it to the poor man by one of their group, who found him in his house lying on the ground, crying and weeping. The messenger asked him, "Why do you cry out?" And he answered, "Shall I not weep over my evil fortune? Inasmuch as my livelihood and that of my family was that I was a drawer of water and would sell it. Today the rafters fell, and my casks and jugs were all broken, and I have no means with which to buy others in their stead. Therefore I cry out before the Lord, for I am more sinful than all the world." Now when the disciple found that the words of the master were justified, he gave the poor man the money and said to him, "This evil decree befell us because of you. We beg you to forgive us and pray that the Lord annuls this evil decree." The poor man then cast himself to the ground and prayed to the Lord to annul the decree. The disciple then returned and related, let's find this little story here, and related the matter to his colleagues. They resumed their studies, and while they were so engaged, the earth grew dark, and they lifted their eyes, and behold, a great host of locusts, and they were sore afraid. But the master said to them, "Fear not, for this poor man has already forgiven you for his humiliation, and the evil decree has been averted. Be not afraid." And the Lord turned an exceedingly strong wind, which took up the locusts, and there remained not one locust in all the Sfat. The master then said, "Be you blessed of the Lord, for on your account was the decree averted." And from this day and thereafter, all the people of Sfat paid heed to the needs of this poor man. It happened one day that the master said to his disciples, "Know ye that on the morrow we shall read a certain passage in the book of splendor," meaning the Zohar, "which is very difficult to explain. Therefore, study it carefully." And they replied, "We shall do so." That night each one studied the passage diligently, and in the morning, when each asked the other for his interpretation, they found that each had arrived at the same sense of the text. They then remarked, "Can it be that the master said that the passage was difficult without reason? He said it was difficult, must be. Let us once again review the text." This they did several times and could not find anything new, no new meaning. They sat thus down to study with the master, who asked them, Do you agree upon the meaning? Or has each of you arrived at a different explanation? They answered, we all interpret the passage alike, and is surprised that our master holds this passage to be difficult, whereas it appears to us to be merely a scribal error. He replied, this is no error. Let one of you give me the explanation. One of the group began to present the meaning of the text as they had interpreted it. But even as he spoke, a flock of birds came and chirped incessantly. The master then said to his disciple, be silent. These birds are the souls of righteous men who have come from the Garden of Eden to inform you that you are in error. For your understanding raises more questions than solutions. Be therefore silent, and I will give you the correct explanation. When he had finished, the birds flew off, and the disciples, embarrassed, said to each other, where is our understanding? How can we hide our shame? Were we blind not to see the problems? To which the master replied, even according to your interpretation, there have been revealed many hidden secrets. I spoke only in your merit and for the glory of those righteous men who had come. This is Baruch Fleischman, and we've been listening to Tales of the Ariya Kodesh.